Okay, I am live now, and I think people should be able to hear me. And we'll just wait to see who joins in. Let me just send a note to the Discord, letting them know I am here. I am on camera now. I'm so excited for this. It is where we see new tablets from Wacom, and I am thrilled with the idea that we'll be able to have a fun discussion about a very exciting topic. Hello, Philip. Greetings and salutations, sir. Tablet Kitten is here. I'll give it a few more minutes. Not expecting a huge crowd. This was a spontaneous stream that I had a few hours ago because the tablet just showed up unexpectedly. I thought it was going to come on Tuesday. And lots of people couldn't make it to the first one. So I said, hey, people in Asia and other countries, other places, I said, hey, let's do another session. We can ask questions. And they said, yeah. Painted Turtle is here. Thank you, Painted Turtle, for showing up. We'll get going in a few minutes. Let me noisily drink my coffee. And I am excited. My energy level is off the charts right now. Let me put on a little music while we're waiting to get a few more people here. You know, Brad Colbo has his tablet dance, or his glove dance. I forgot how he does it, but I need to develop a 7 pens dance. I think I could do one. You know, it'll surprise some of you, but I was once in my life, a young lady said I was a good hip hop dancer. Can you believe that, me? Andy is here. Hello, sir. Hello. Really curious to see if it performs better than a Move Ink for not having display interface thingamablob. We've got another kitten, or is that Tablet Kitten with a new name? Oh, Mir. Okay. Thank you for clarifying. We have multiple kittens in the chat. I'll just give it a few more minutes. Let me just finish my coffee. And we're gonna have a lot of fun. So let me just, while I'm just chatting here, in the first session, you should definitely do some martial art. See how energetic I am? Tablet Kitten says we have an imposter. What was I gonna say? I can't even remember what I was gonna say. I was lost. Okay, let's see. Oh, now I remember. We had so many good questions in the first session, which was 6 hours ago, by the way. It ended 6 hours ago. And Ken says, I'm the same person who asked for the Huion Canvas 13 Linux driver test. I think I remember that. I don't think I ever got to that, so. Cats Among Us, Philip says. Okay, let's at least try to get going a little bit. So, okay, hang on. I gotta remember where my cameras are. That's not what I want. I want my overhead. Okay. So I know you can see me twice. That is not intended. Let me close this. Okay, now you can see me just once, a little bit better. I'm still learning how Ecamm Live works. Okay, now, the tablet in question. Move my mouse over. Here it is. The Wacom Intuos Pro Medium, 2025 Medium. And I have slides prepared. I actually, in the last 6 hours, took a bunch of photos and wrote up some slides to answer some of the questions. So I'll discuss this further when I get there in the slides. And it's an interactive session, so feel free to interrupt. The slides are just to help you, make it move faster for me, so I don't have to spend so much time moving cameras around. I'm going to tell you something. This feels amazing to hold. That's the first thing I notice when I got it. It just feels, let me turn on a little extra light here. It'll probably help us see. It feels amazing to hold. And it just feels very different from what we're used to, okay? It feels like a different kind of device than the Intuos Pro 2017, sorry. I'm not even talking about the look of the dials and the express keys. We'll talk about that extensively. I'm talking about it's so light and thin that it just feels like a different kind of device, okay? And I mentioned this with the Moving 13, which is, you all know I have a lot of tablets, and this will now be my, this is I think my 80th or 81st tablet that I own, and I have all of them. I said when I got the Moving 13 that the size and weight of it made it feel like a different kind of device, even though obviously it's just a pen display. I get that same feeling here. I really get the same feeling here. And so I guess a general thought I have is this is one, Wacom I think struggles to differentiate themselves, but thin, super light, I guess super portable is one of the ways they can make a difference. Okay, and show that they're leading. Now come to the Pro Pen 3. Now I'm gonna show you more details, don't worry about it. Let me find my slide deck though. And let me close all these windows. Okay, I found my slide deck and I'm going to go to, I think this is it. Yeah, okay. Okay, so what I did was, again, in the last 6 hours, I took photos, I sort of answered some of the questions that were asked from the first session, and I put it in the slide form. Now it's gonna look like a review, and in fact, these slides will turn into the actual recorded review, but this is an interactive session, so feel free to ask questions, okay? So first of all, we'll do some baseline things. This is the replacement, and it says launched March 29-25. They fixed that, this is March 2025. So we have a new series, right? And in this video, I'm focused on the medium version, and we'll talk about why in just a minute. It is the one I have. Now, this is why I'm focused on the medium version. I actually originally ordered all three, but Wacom canceled my order. They said they had mistakenly put all three on their online store. So about a week or so later, they emailed me and said, hey, the medium is now available. So I ordered it. Then they told me the small is available, and I will get the small, but I decided just to wait. And when the large is available, then I'll order the other two, the large and the small. So I will actually update whatever I write in my write-up in any video. I'll do all three, but tonight we'll focus on the medium. Now, the prices are listed here, and I just want to make sure everyone knows I got these prices from the Wacom store, right? I rounded up by, a nickel, 5 cents, and the prices are the same. Now, that's shocking to me. We all know Wacom increased the price of the Intuos Cintiq Pro series dramatically, and I really expected that the price of these would increase dramatically. Okay, but they are expensive. Kitten says that, yes, they are expensive. Okay, but at least they're not more expensive than we're used to, right? Now, It came in this box, which I threw away here. And by the way, Wacom now has gone all eco-friendly. So they don't have really colorful boxes. They just have these simple brown cardboard boxes with some black ink. You know, I wish they would get a little more artistic, but you know, they are being, you know, environmentally conscious. It's a very small box, and I will tell you, Mir, I have to remember, kitten is Mir. Okay, thank you for reminding me. I will say this: the minute you pick up the box, you know it's lighter. Like it, and we'll talk about the weight for sure in this video. But it's one of the first things I noticed. Like, oh, in fact, I picked it up, and I thought, oh, did I order the wrong one? Did I get the small? Because it's that light. Okay, and that was in the box. Okay, now here's what comes in the box, and we'll show you the things. Just want to make sure everyone's on the same page. Obviously, you get the tablet. We get the pen, and we get, there's a stand with some nibs. By the way, I lost some of the nibs because, well, I'll tell you the story a little later. USB-C to USB-A cable, the quick start guide, and this adapter, which is meant to go for this cable because this is, you may have a USB-C port, not a USB-A port, so it works. And in fact, let's see. I'll show it to you later. It's not so interesting to see the adapter. Okay, and this is a list of what's included, right? Now, they add some extra grips and things, and we'll show you some of these pieces like the button plates, which is somewhere here, and the balance piece. And you get these nibs. You get 5 standard nibs, 3 felt, 2 rubber. I've lost 3 of the nibs in the last 3 hours. Actually, about 2 hours ago, I lost a couple of the nibs. So nothing really, you know, outrageous here, okay? So here's the tablet. Again, I have it right in front of me. I just want to give you a clear picture of it. I will say this. I don't think this picture does it justice. I think it looks better than the picture. The picture looks dull and it looks a little maybe yellow. This is, it is black. And one thing you may notice, and you'll feel it as well, the surface is, it's not reflective in any sense, but it reflects a bit more. It's a little shinier than you're used to with the old Intuos Pro. Now, one more thing which you'll see in further photos is up here. So this is the smooth, I don't want to say smooth, it's the drawing area. And notice that you have this area on top which has a different texture. I think that's metal, and it has, if you ever use like a high-end camera, it has a little speckled something on it. It looks like that. Now, if you see some of the photos, you might think the tablet is dirty, but it's just that texture, okay, on the very top, okay, near where the buttons are. So it looks good. I got to tell you, when I saw photos when Wacom first announced it, I was like, what? But it feels good. It feels good. And we'll get the other big thing you'll notice is the buttons are on top. We'll talk about that. The bezels are really small, and you'll see some size comparisons. So Mir, I think, yeah, it doesn't look bad. I think it looks very good. It's very elegant. In the last, I've had it since about 3 p.m. now, so that's like 9 hours. And it's grown on me more. I liked it at the beginning, and I've liked it more since I've had it. And this is the back, nothing especially crazy. It just got a big rubber strip along the top and on the bottom, and then Intuos Pro on the back in shiny, kind of shiny letters. That's it. So very, very classy looking. Very classy looking. It looks like a serious device. Professional. Looks pro. So a few, periodically in this session we'll talk about comparing to the old edition, right? Mir, you like the CTL 480? Still, actually, you know what? I have to be honest. I always forget what the CTL 480 looks like. So let me get there and take a look, because I actually always forget which one it is. Find a picture of this thing. Oops, this is it. Oh, I had one of these. I didn't like the feeling of drawing with it, but I agree with you. It looked great. I actually really love the pen holder, the little splash of blue at the top, and I just like that little accent touch. I can't see from the pictures clearly. Does this have button in that black area on top? Right? And Tablet Kitten has a 470. Let me take a look at that one. That's a CTL, I believe. CTL 470. This one, is this the one you have? I think I have this somewhere in my... The 480 is a famous OSU tablet. Okay, I thought everyone used the CTL 472. Oh, and then Mir says there's a Panda version. Can you find a picture? I'd love to see it. By the way, I am so upset that in other countries, in China for Huion and XP Pen, and in Japan, they get special versions of these tablets which look much cuter than what we see in the United States and the rest of the world. So I want to get with some of these cuter tablets. I saw Huion, they have a white version of the Canvas 13 Gen 3. Looks amazing. Okay, anyway, where was I here? So just one thing to keep in mind, the costs are the same. However, you know, what I'm expecting is you're gonna have a ton of professionals who've had their Intuos Pro since 2017. And they're just, some of those people, a lot of them are just, hey, I gotta have the newest, latest version. And they're gonna buy this version. And we'll talk about whether I think that's a good idea or not. But some of them are gonna buy it and they're gonna put their tablets on sale. And some of them will put them on sale at a really drastic discount because they don't realize really how well these hold their value over time. And occasionally you see some really good deals. I'll tell you, I was looking through my records. Someone was selling an Intuos Pro Large, the 2017 model, for $30 on eBay some months ago. Can you imagine that? $30? Now, sometimes they're like, it's really expensive, but sometimes they're very cheap. So you might see the 2017 editions drop in cost. Let me fix that little error. The other thing that comes to my mind, thank you, Mir. I'd love to see a photo of that. The other thing that comes to my mind about whether you should get this tablet or not, or the old one, is Wacom tends to support their products. I can't say this for sure, but it seems like 10 years, and I think they may support in the driver, and they may support a Pro product longer than 10 years. Now, this 2017 edition came out, you know, obviously 8 years ago. So I'm a little nervous that Wacom is going to drop driver support, not 2 years from now, but you could imagine, you know, I'm making up a date, don't quote me, that in 2019 or 2018, that they drop support for the older Intuos Pro tablets. And if that happens, you're going to have to use an older driver, or you're going to have to use Open Tablet driver. So that's a risk we're going to have to take, right? And of course, since 2025 edition just came out, they're going to have support for at least a decade in their driver. Okay, Mir sent it in Discord. Let's take a look. Let me get there. Where's Discord? I think it's in tablet. Is this it? Oh, wow. Wow. That looks really good. I love the color. I have complained so often that all we get is black and dark gray tablets. I love this. I wish this was a thing, right? That we could just have some, maybe, I don't know, customizable plates or things we can add to the pens that just give them a splash of color and make them easier to identify. And I see Tablet Kitten has posted something as well. 16K Frag, okay, Frago. Okay. Thank you for sending that, Mir, I appreciate it. Okay, so let's talk about the included pen, which is the Wacom Pro Pen 2. And they have a very long model number, but I just say ACP 500. So I have it in front of me, and let me go in my overhead view. And I'm gonna let me zoom in. So this is the standard Wacom pen. This is that, I forgot what they call this, metal rod, so you can distribute the weight. You can put it in like this or like this. It came with it inserted this way, so that's fine. And you put this, I have to be honest with you, I do not like this pen. One of the things I don't like about this pen is this, this metallic tube. Invariably, as I'm using the pen, it unscrews. So every time I pick up this pen, I can hear it shake a little bit, and I have to screw it back in. So not really a huge fan, but the pen's performance is good. We'll talk about that. Let's go back to, okay. So the Move Ink has a different pen though. So it's the same Pro Pen 3, but instead of that weight thing, it has a little plastic plug to put in 3 spare nibs, right? Mir, you didn't know you could disassemble the pen? Yeah, you can do all sorts of things with it actually. Let me just show you, since it seems to be new to you. Let me just show you what you can do. So I took that out, so there's less weight. And then, now that I took that out, you can actually snap out these buttons. Let me get some extra light here so it's a little bit more obvious. There we go. You'll be able to see it a bit better. You can snap out the buttons, and then you can do it like this. And then you can make it a thin pen if you want to. And actually, I don't know where it is in here, but Wacom came with extra accessories. So there's different versions of this little button thing. One has no buttons. Some people don't like buttons on their pens, and you can slide that in. And actually, I'm thinking about trying that because I use a tour box instead of a keyboard, and I accidentally press my keys a lot, right? So I'm thinking about trying that, actually. And they actually, they also have a different, this button thing is designed for use with this thing. There's one that's a little thinner. There's one that's a little thinner when you don't have this grip. The grip is good. We'll talk about some issues with it. But yeah, this is a very customizable pen. Lately, I've been avoiding the grip and using it like this. Oh, sorry. Using it just like, I can't even put this thing back together now. Using it more like this, right? Anyway, I'm gonna leave the pen like this. I'm gonna leave this grip out of here. Okay, and let me just show you what the Pro Pen 3 looks like with the Move Ink. Because it does look a little different. Let me unscrew it. There's the, oops, I moved this in, unfortunately. Let's see. You see this little plastic piece or rubber piece, and then there's 3 nibs there. So I don't know why they did this. It's not like I think it saves them money or something. But the same pen, right? And Mir has a question. Let's take a look at it. Have you tried an external numpad? I did try the numpad. I tried XP Pen's thing and Huyan's thing. I tried Wacom's thing, and I tried SenseLab's remote. To me, the problem with those things is I have to look at them to use them. And the Toolbox, I don't have to look at it. I can just reach my hand and touch it and know what to do without looking. So I just can't use the keypads. Right? I'd rather use the keyboard than a keypad, honestly. And tablet, Kitten, sorry, someone posted a question. I have to make sure who did what. Give me a second. Okay, I see. Okay, sorry. My mistake. I thought someone wanted me to do something. Make sure to start. Oh, I see. Okay, I'm going to sneeze again. I had a lot of sneezing earlier. Oh, wow. This looks really amazing. Let's make sure everyone sees this. This is cool. Look at that. Look how beautiful it is. That's the one, but see, we get cardboard. We get brown cardboard. They get beautiful stuff. I'll start collecting the tablet boxes. One thing I have been doing, I used to just throw away boxes. Now I keep them. And number 2, I'm starting to photograph all the boxes. So I can always know what things what came with it, and we know what the art looks like. Okay, and so, this is a Pro Pen 3. Oops. Let's see some questions. Mir says, is it, meaning the toolbox, really that good? I love it. I'm gonna do a video about it. It took me 6 months to train myself. I gave up 3 times, but it's worth it. How people will not leave their house without their phone because they feel nervous? I feel that way about the toolbox. If I am not using it, like maybe I left it in another room or something, I feel weird and nervous. I have to have it when I'm drawing with Clip Studio Paint. Philip says, each button on the toolbox has a unique shape and kind of weight to it. You can combine buttons or set double-click timer trigger. Yeah, it is very customizable as well. Very customizable. Maybe later I'll show you how I customize mine for Clip Studio Paint. It's very optimized for the way I do my work. Okay, so those are the pens, and both work on this thing. And let's get back to the PowerPoint. Oops. Where am I here? Okay, so that's the pen. I will say this is one of my few complaints. It's not really a complaint about the tablet, it's a complaint about Wacom. Brands like XP Pen and Huion and SenseLabs, who started this, are including 2 pens in their tablet, with their tablet boxes for Pro tablets. And it's about time Wacom started doing this, okay? These tablets are expensive from Wacom. I think we all deserve 2 pens. And the component that breaks the easiest is the pen. So it is very valuable to have an extra pen. So if the first pen breaks or you're trying to debug a problem, you can use the second pen. So that's my feeling. I certainly hope you agree. Okay, big question people asked on the first stream was Pro Pen 2 versus Pro Pen 3. So let's talk about it. This is a matter of some personal opinion. It's a matter of taste. I was going to say it's a matter of taste. I didn't mean it quite that way. I was thinking about a metaphor in a different language. I don't think there's a big difference in terms of drawing performance. We'll see that there are some differences, but I think some people, Wacom says the Pro Pen 3 is much better than the Pro Pen 2. I don't believe that. I think if it's better, it's slightly better or imperceptibly better. Like, there are many times I picked up the Pro Pen 2 thinking it was the Pro Pen 3. And I was like, oh wow, this feels so good. And I looked down, it's actually the Pro Pen 2, right? So I don't think there's a difference, honestly. Now, I did see a difference in the max pressure, which you should know about, but there's nothing wrong. We'll talk about it in just a minute. Both the Pro Pen 2 and Pro Pen 3 are very consistent in their pressure response. You'll see that. And the Pro Pen 2 and Pro Pen 3 seems like, we did this in the stream earlier today, seems like they use each other's nibs. That was weird. We could try it live if you want, okay? Now, initial activation force, to me, subjectively, they feel similar. I'm not really good at measuring it. Cube has measured the Pro Pen 2 initial activation force at less than 1 gram force. I'm not so good at measuring it, so I just never include the numbers, okay? But it felt similar, that's all I can say, right? And to be honest, I think there's enough variation between pens, it's hard for me to say that, like, all Pro Pen 2s are gonna be the same way, and all Pro Pen 3s are gonna be the same way for initial activation force. Now you're seeing 2 graphs. On the left is Pro Pen 3, on the right is Pro Pen 2. And what these graphs mean is the pressure response, okay? This is not a pressure curve. I measured both pens. I had 5 Pro Pen 3s and 5 Pro Pen 2s, okay? And what you should notice, each of them, very consistent. We'll talk about the Pro Pen 3. There seems to be some sort of inconsistency. I'll talk about that. They're very consistent. They both end with high maximum pressure, but there is a difference there. Mir says, I remember when Wacom didn't even include one of their models. Yeah, it was the Wacom 1. They didn't include a pen. At least if you bought it on their website, they didn't include a pen. But if you brought it retail like Amazon, it came with a pen. It was very confusing. Nice cane. The issue I have with ProPen 2 is they lose pressure over time. I think I changed 10 times and I found that each new pen has a different pressure. Can you clarify, Nice cane, are you talking about the maximum pressure or the minimum pressure? And are you saying that it became less sensitive, like you had to press down harder over time? Because I have not noticed that. I noticed it in one case when I was using a metal nib. So that's another question I have for you. Are you using a metal nib? Because I think metal nibs, at least in one of my experiments, damage the initial activation force of my one of my ProPen 2s. Okay, so let's take a look at this again. And this is the ProPen 2. What do you notice? What do you notice? First of all, again, ignore the initial activation force. It's all low. On this graph, you wouldn't be able to see a difference. They're all very close to each other, aren't they? They have tight grouping. And basically the maximum pressure ends at 700 gram force. And some go even higher, okay? So 700 and above is where, maybe to 850 is where they end up, okay? That's a lot of pressure. You probably don't need to press down that hard ever. In fact, it feels scary to do so. So this is excellent. I'm not sure excellent's the right word. I don't think you need this, okay? Now, what about the ProPen 2? It's a little different. Now let's talk first about this green line. The green line goes here and it sort of jumps up here. It goes higher. I think that's actually a measuring issue on my part. I'll have to remeasure the pen because the rest of the pens are very consistent, right? They're really around 600 gram force to 700 gram force. So slight difference in my measurements, but it's still a good pen. And I think 600 is enough. In fact, I think 400 honestly is enough because the Wacom grip pen for years was just 400 gram force, right? So if any pen hits 400, you should feel great about it because it's as good as Wacom's previous professional pens. Let's see. Let's take a look here. Philip says, I never noticed I'm losing pressure. I use it on a flat surface. I don't like stabbing Intuos Pro with super hard, so that's why I always reduce max pressure. Soap bar grip. Flat tablets are awkward. Vertical for the interesting. You like it with an angle. Maximum pressure feels different from pen to pen. This cane says, I have to press harder. Some pens can lose pressure when they drop to the floor. Just so you know, I have tested pens, but I dropped a pen on the floor many times, I think 10 times from about 28 inches, which is like 2 feet, right? 2/3 of a meter. And I couldn't get a change, but it's possible. I've seen people break their pens that way. And Mir says, I think having magnetic stuff near is going to affect the pen performance. And so I think metal nibs could be the case. It can be. We're not sure. The funny thing is that the metal nib, if you open one of the pens up, it doesn't touch any component. It's surrounded by plastic or rubber. So we're not really sure what happened. To be honest, I'm going to have to reconduct this 6-month experiment with another metal nib and throw away another ProPen 2. Anyway, so you see the difference here with the maximum pressure ProPen 3. It gets to around 600. I think the green line is an outlier. So this is very good. You should be very happy with this, okay? Okay, Mahito, I had Intuos Pro 17 for 3 years, so I need to upgrade to this version. We're gonna get there. There's a slide on that, which I'll explicitly get to, but I'll just answer right now and we'll get to the details later. I think if you already have the Intuos Pro 2017 and you're happy with it, as much as I hate to say this, I don't think you need to upgrade. I don't think you're gonna get an improvement that's worth, whatever amount of money it is. That's not an insult to this tablet. It's a recognition that the existing 2017 model is that good. Now, having said that, there are some advantages we're going to talk about with the 2025 model you should be aware of, okay? And then Philip says, ProPen 3 seems to be a modular version of ProPen 2 calibrated to work with a longer nib. That's a great summary. I think that's exactly what it is, right? Mir says, I'm literally an outsider here. I don't use Wacom at all. Hey, we're happy to have you here because we can learn from what other tablets do, right? So absolutely great to have you here, Mir. Okay, so these are my measurements again, and I measure this very carefully. In one of my streams, I talked about how I measure things. And you can see again, they were very consistent in those graphs. So to talk about those pens, oh, we have Koyo is here. My Pro Pen 2 has come loose and feels springy on the nib now. I'm not sure if there's a universal problem with Pro Pen 2 after years of use. I've never noticed that, Koyo. And I do have a lot of Pro Pen 2s. I think I have like 6 or 7 of those. I've just never noticed it getting springy. Tablet Kitten, I'm still trying to figure out how to integrate these curves. Oh, for context, okay. Let me go make sure people understand what the comment means here. I have a bunch of data files, JSON files with the data for these plots. And Tablet Kitten's doing some coding using a Jupyter notebook to play with this data. That's what that comment's in reference to. Philip says, in fact, I preferred using the Pro Pen 2 with the Cintiq Pro 22 because it seemed to trigger palm ejection behavior a little better, and it felt better to draw with anyway. Interesting. Okay, 1 second. I'm going to, you can't see what I'm doing. It's just to help me. Where is it? Oops, window. Okay. It'll help me see your comments and keep track of what's going on a little bit better. Okay, so let's get back here. And so here's some thoughts I had about the two tablets and how they work with pens, okay? So this is again a kind of a comparison so you can think about what's going on. So you know which pen is included with each tablet. Now one thing to keep in mind is the replacement cost. The Pro Pen 2 costs $80 US. Pro Pen 3 is $130, which is a lot, okay? Now what about Pro Pen 3 compatibility? Obviously the 2025 edition works with the Pro Pen 3. The 2019 edition, Wacom back in 2022 promised on Twitter they would make some older tablets, they would provide backwards compatibility with Pro Pen 3. They said that in a meeting that I attended, like an online meeting, and they said that on Twitter. That's like in November 2022. They have not mentioned that again. So I highly, not even doubt, I am very convinced they will never bring Pro Pen 3 support to the older tablets. I don't think they're gonna do it. And the reason I don't think they're gonna do it is they want you to buy the new tablets, okay? And if they make the new pens compatible with the older tablets, it gives people one more reason to stick with the older tablet. So I don't think they're ever gonna do it. Let's see, Andy, I'm still waiting for the new Intuos Pro 25 to be available in Malaysia. Hopefully you won't have to wait too much longer. I think things are rolling out. But I don't know, it might be, I think some countries take a long time to get certain tablets. Why that happens, I don't know. Okay, the next thing is both support these older Pro Pens, like they both support, and you'll see it, we can demo it. They support the Art Pen, and we can test barrel rotation if you want. They support the Grip Pen, both of these tablets, and they support the Pro Pen 2. And I think both support the Pro Pen 1 as well. Now, there's a special feature of these tablets, okay? Which is the 2025 edition, you can use it with Wacom UD-EMR pens. So that includes the, oops, I misspelled it here, not XP, but CP923 and CP913, and Samsung S Pen and Lamy and was it Stettler, et cetera, et cetera. So that's great because those pens cost like $30, the CP923, 913. And so We'll demonstrate drawing on that in just a second. But it's great as a backup pen. You can get one of these, and I'd highly recommend it if you get this tablet. Buy one of these, probably the CP923, and use it as a backup pen, right? Mir, enjoy your lunch. Thanks for stopping by, appreciate it. And Philip says, do you think an 11-inch moving could outright kill the Intuos Pro Medium? Philip, yeah, I do think that. However, they'd have to get the price down, right? And they'd have to make sure, because the moving gets scratched easy, they'd have to do something so it doesn't get scratched, right? Because I think anyone using a moving just does not want to get it scratched if they're going to use it like a normal pen tablet. But if Wacom or any company can get the cost down, yeah, I mean, I would love that, okay? Okay, and why don't we not demonstrate I've been talking about the tablet, why don't we actually see some drawing? How's that? Give me a second, let me open up Krita, because I want to prove to you that some of this stuff actually works. And let's take a look at line quality as well. Okay, let me close this window, which is filled with just scribbles from earlier. I want, let's say 3000 by 2000. Create. Okay, and I'll zoom in to 50%. Okay, great. Now, the tablet's not plugged in. And let me go to my overhead. And let me change this Elgato to the other Elgato. Actually, I'm gonna switch these. Wait a second. I'm gonna do it slightly differently. I'm gonna close this. And I'm gonna duplicate this. I'm gonna switch these two. You don't need to see my hands as much as you need to see the actual screen. Okay, so that's Krita. Okay. Now, it comes with a cable, which I do not know where it is. I'm gonna find it. Is this it? Yeah, this is it actually. Now, one thing you'll notice about this cable is that it is, it doesn't have an L connector. It's just, straight, right? And it connects to the side of the tablet. Let me zoom out a little bit, and you'll see the connections. Put these pens out of the way. Connect it here. Oops, get the metal pieces here. It's rolling. It connects right up here, very similar to the moving on the upper right-hand corner. And, sorry, there's so many pens around me, it's getting confusing. What's going on now? Let me put all this small pieces away from me. And I'm gonna connect this long cable. Looks like it's 6 feet, maybe a bit longer. And I put this little USB-A to USB-C. Came in the box. I'm gonna connect it to my hub. Okay, I heard the beep, and now you should be able to see everything. Okay, so let's just prove to you these pens work. So this is the Pro Pen 2, and I have this, I'm gonna set this brush to a normal size, about 100, okay? And let me just double check my settings for this thing. Okay, it looks good. And I'm just going to comment on how it works. Pro Pen 2 feels good. I've got basic smoothing on, so it doesn't really do much. Feels good, feels as good as Pro Pen 2 has ever felt. I'm drawing with relatively light pressure. Now I'm drawing with very heavy pressure. Everything feels great. Feels as good as you ever felt it. Now, since I'm using the Pro Pen 2, I'm gonna talk about the texture here, okay? Let me go ahead and bring the Intuos Pro medium here. I'm just gonna scribble here, okay? I'm gonna scribble here. Now you're not gonna see anything draw, actually, because it's not plugged in. I'm just gonna scribble here just for what it feels like. I'm gonna think about what it feels like. And there's slides for this later, but I'll tell you this, these feel really different, like a lot different. This does not feel, like if you put your finger on it, you wouldn't tell. But with the plastic nib, this feels like it's not more rough, more texture, but not like this doesn't have texture. It's just, this has more. So I think the Intuos Pro 2025 will not eat through your nibs as much. The other thing, and I don't know how to convey this really, is that the Intuos Pro 2025, the surface is hard, just like this is with your fingers, right? It feels softer and warmer to the touch. And as you move the pen along, you don't hear a lot of noise. With this, you'll hear some scratchy noise. Not a lot, but you'll know it. It's much more muted with this. So I don't like hearing my pen make noise. So I love this tablet because it doesn't cause noise, okay? Let's take a look at some of the questions. Ness Kane says, does the new Intuos Pro still have the option portion and screen area option? Yes, it does. And why don't we just take a look? I can use Wacom Center. I actually know Wacom tablet properties more. So let's launch Wacom Center though. Oops, there we go. Okay. I can't remember the setting. I think it's in our mapping. And this is mapped to full display. I want advanced. Let's take a look here. Oh, I'm not sure actually. I'm actually not sure. I know what you're saying. What if I turn off force proportions? I'm not even sure actually. I'm not actually even sure how display mapping and force proportions work. Like what's the relationship? And this is just a radio button that you click on. That's weird. Okay, I have to take back my statement, Neskane. I'm not sure if it supports proportions, portions. I'm trying to change it to, let me go back here. You know what? It doesn't look like it does. It doesn't look like it does. Let's take a look at Intuos. Let's take a look at Wacom tablet properties so everyone can see what it's supposed to be there. Mapping. So you're talking about this setting, screen area portion. It doesn't look like it supports it. That's interesting. I can't see it anywhere. I just can't see it anywhere, which is weird. This is very weird, actually. Okay. So I want to get back to the texture for a second. I like the texture of this new tablet better than this one, okay? I think it will not wear down your nibs. I think it looks better. I think it feels better. And so I think that's a win. That's a win in this column for this tablet, okay? Which tablet size would you recommend? 14-inch screen, small, medium? Is it because you're using a laptop? I would still recommend a medium, honestly. If you're drawing, definitely, right? If you're using it like a mouse replacement, Andy, then a small is fine. But if you're drawing, I would still recommend a medium. Let's see, and I think Philip says he used all sizes and large. Interesting. I think it feels a little bit weird because the large is like 15, 16 inches. It's actually larger than the screen. When it gets larger than the screen, it feels a little weird to me personally. Maybe in the classic tablet properties, yeah, we saw that. There's another advance in the top right. Where do you see that one, Nescane? Like, I'm clicking on this, and then I don't see anything else. And is anything here? Nope. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Also, this screen is a little messed up. Notice how it's like got this I changed monitors from the first stream, and I was using a monitor like with that shape. So it's gotten a little confused, which is interesting. The driver has. Tablet properties. Let's take a look here. Show advanced options. I clicked that, Philip, but I didn't see it. But let's try again. And where did you see tablet properties? I don't see it anywhere. Oh, yeah, in the classic one, yeah, sorry, you're correct. I got confused myself. In the classic one, you can do it. It's under mapping and then under screen area portion, and you've got it. Now, here's the thing. I don't know how these drivers interact with each other. I'm sorry, not drivers. It's the same driver, two different UIs. So if you set it here, I don't know what's gonna happen in the Wacom Center. Like, is it gonna freak out, okay? So that looks like something Wacom might need to address. Okay, let's get back to this thing. Oh, I wanted to show you the different pens drawing, that's why, okay. So this was the Pro Pen 2, works great. Pro Pen 3 works fine, you know. It works very well, just as you'd expect. The low IAF, you can definitely sense. And then now thicker stroke. Very happy with it. Very happy with it. Like all pens, when you're drawing very vertically with very light strokes, you can see here a little bit of, what do I call this? Instability, that's normal. The way you solve that is to do some pressure smoothing. When you're doing it at an angle, you won't notice it, but when you're doing it up and down straight, you'll notice it. Common to all tablets, so don't stress about that. These lines look great. And then, here we go, we'll try the Art Pen. Looks good. I love the Art Pen, by the way. It's still one of my favorite pens to use. Here's the Grip Pen. Grip Pen feels good, if you like the Grip Pen. And then here's the $30 CP923 pen. Now I'm gonna do a little extra testing here because we wanna make sure this isn't a bad pen. Now it has a higher initial activation force of like 5 grams or something, but you know, ignoring that, I'm pretty happy with it. In fact, this came with the Wacom 1 2023 edition pen tablets and pen displays, and I hate those tablets, but here it's working really good. The pressure looks pretty nice. Even at low pressure, I'll make this really big. Yeah, it actually works well here, which is nice to see. So again, get one of these as a backup. And by the way, this has 2 buttons and both work. Get one of those as a backup if you're gonna get this tablet, because you're gonna lose your pen. You don't wanna pay $130, okay? Okay, so the pens work, very happy. And that's it's a big deal for this tablet. It's a big deal. And as Kane says, my favorite pen is the Grip Pen. Yeah, I love the Grip. What's really weird is I fall in love with the Grip Pen, and I fall in love with the Art Pen, and then I just cycle through which one I love in any given week. Let's get back to this thing. So So this is, of course, how the pen gets disassembled. Nibs, okay, I lost some of the nibs. Let me tell you why. You see this this thing here? This is the pen holder. I'll show it to you later. But I didn't tighten it correctly, and I picked it up, and the nibs went flying. They're literally on the floor, the remaining 2 or 3 nibs, right? And we don't, by the way, we do not get the nib with the spring anymore. It's gone. Gone from our universe. Can I see any difference to the Pro Pen 2 to the Pro Pen 3? It feels the same. The Pro Pen 2 just has higher maximum pressure. Other than that, to me, it feels the same. Some people say they notice a big difference. I don't notice any difference, honestly. So, okay, now here's some of the pen nibs. Now, what Wacom says is that some of these are supposed to be like felt, and some are plastic and some are something else, but like they all look plastic to me, so I'm a little confused, okay? Here's just a close-up of the buttons, by the way. By the way, one more thing. The nib sticks out more in this pen than the Pro Pen 2. That's normal, and that's supposed to help with the tilt because you can get it down lower, right? Thickness, okay, it is really thin, like crazy thin, okay? I had another, oh, here it is. I moved the slides around. On top is the Intuos Pro 2025. On the bottom is the Move Ink. So they have a very similar thickness, right? They look like very similar devices. Now, when we take a look at the size, you can see Move Ink is on the right, the new tablet's on the left. They are right, they're very close in size. They have the same height. And I put one on top of the other. The medium is just a little, it's not quite as wide. That's it, right? It's almost the exact same height. And they feel like the same class of devices. In fact, now looking at this, I'm almost surprised Wacom didn't add, well, I guess they would have had to have more of a bezel, but like, I'm always wondering why they didn't have the dials and the express keys on the Move Ink. Okay, this is now the tablets, the old medium on the right and the new medium on the left. Now they look very similar. Now you can see this little white dot here. That's the upper left corner, lower left corner, that's the active area. And then in the Intuos Pro 2017, we have this kind of like thing. So look how big the bezels are, right? And basically, in my measurements, you're getting a slightly bigger active area here than here, right? So even though it's much smaller, you're getting a slightly more active area. If I measured it correctly, this height of this active area is the same, about the same height as this. So this is a little bit wider than this, right? So it's a win-win, okay? And this is one tablet on top of the other. Sorry, it's a little bit more dark than I planned. But you can see it just fits in a bit nicer. And you can see it here. There's the 2025 model on top of the 2017 model, right? It is definitely smaller. And actually, it is bigger than the old 2017 small. But you can see they're close in size. Okay, weight. So these are not Wacom's numbers, these are my numbers. I have a weight scale next to me, the one I use for pressure. And I measured it, and take a look at this. The Intuos Pro 17 medium is 730 grams. The Pro small is 460 grams. The Move Ink 13 is 410 grams. This thing is 400 grams. So that's one thing, that's the first thing I noticed when I picked this tablet up compared to the old one. I was like, wow, this is noticeably lighter. And these numbers subjectively feel good, they feel correct. It feels half as heavy as the old one. So now the Wacom one medium He's a little lighter, but this is one of the lightest devices Wacom's ever made, okay? So it feels really good. Now, a question I got earlier today was about sliding. So what does that mean? Let's move this away here for a second. Someone asked me, this thing is so light, does it slide? So let's take a look at the old one for a second. And if you're just drawing, right, even if you're pushing here, it's hard to move this thing. If you're pressing down, you won't be able to, I'm pressing that really hard. I cannot move this, okay? Now, if I'm pushing here, yeah, of course. And there's some weight here, like it's not gonna budge easily, right? Now, compared to this thing, I'll just do the same thing. If you're actually drawing, you're not moving this. The weight's not gonna slide it around. You have to try, right? It definitely is little bit easier to move than the old model, but it stays on the desk. It doesn't shift around, so you don't have to worry about that. Okay, bezels. So it's much smaller bezels. We'll do a little bit of a measurement here. And I have a piece of paper. I'm actually gonna write this down. Because can I write it down? Do I have a pen, pencil, something here? Hang on, there we go. We'll do a little bezel measurement here, so we get the exact numbers. So on the right side, this bezel, I'm just eyeballing it, okay? It's, I would say it's 10 millimeters on the right. On the bottom, it's roughly speaking 10. Probably more like 11 or 12, but let's just say 10 for right now. On the left, it's about 10. Sorry, you may not be able to see what I'm writing here. I'm just writing down the bezel size for the PTK-670, okay? And the top is, it's got the buttons there, it's just a wider bezel. Looks to be about 40 millimeters. Okay, now let's do the PTH-660. Let's just see how the difference here. The right bezel is 60. So I'll put the numbers here so you can see the numbers next to each other. I'll put in parentheses, the old one is 60 millimeters, so it's a huge difference on the right. What about the bottom? I'll say it's like 35. The left is huge, because of course that's what the express keys are. 60. And it's 60 on left and right here for the old model. I think they did that deliberately so it's more symmetric. And then on top, what do we got? I would say it's about 30. So the bezel on top is a little bit shorter on the old one because of course the new one has those express keys there. Okay, so that's the bezel story. Oh, now the question is it a problem? Okay, well, I was scared. I used to be a guy who thought small bezels were better, that I don't want thick bezels, and someone pointed out that with a bigger bezel, there's a nice feature. I'm gonna do it with my hand. When you're drawing with a bigger bezel, your hand is moving, and as you get toward this size, you can still just keep your hand on the tablet, okay? And if you get here, your hand's on the tablet. If you get to the left, you don't have to worry about it. Everything is your hand's on the tablet. It doesn't drop off, okay? Let's just, for the sake of the argument, say that a bezel was not big, or sorry, was not so wide. You'd hit this part of your hand would feel this bezel, this edge and you drop off, you know, like, I don't know, 12 millimeters or something. And that would not be a good feeling, okay? However, here's the catch. This has really small bezels. So your hand, when it goes to this corner here, this edge, because it's so thin, the fatty pad of your hand that's at the bottom here, it will just touch the desk. And it doesn't feel like you're falling off a cliff, right? You will feel the edge, but it's not hard, it's not irritating. It feels kind of natural, right? So I wouldn't worry about it. I don't think the bezel thing is a concern, for me at least. Others may feel differently, but I think it works out fine. It's still very comfortable to draw with a smaller bezel. Pen stand, okay, I took some photos so we can talk about it. It's like this, which is much better than the old pen stand. And it kind of just, let's see if you can show it to you. Let's give it a little bit of light here. This just unscrews. So I twist it to the left and does this, okay? And I think this top part is metal. I think that both the bottom part's metal. It doesn't screw in a lot. It screws in just a little bit of rotation. And that's what it looks like. Now, here's the deal. Do you remember the old Pro Pen, the way it worked? The stand for the Pro Pen 2? You put the nibs there. But if you put the nibs here, there's no place for the nibs. Like, it used to have little slots. But here the nibs are just, they're just like, you just put them in there and they're just like, I don't think there's any other place for the nibs to go. You can't put them in the pen. You go here and they're just like shaking around, right? So weird, it's weird. The other thing, I told you I lost some nibs. It's because I picked this up suddenly and I didn't fully lock it. And so I picked it up and it went, this tipped over and the nibs fell everywhere. So I had to hunt the nibs. So it's an improvement, but it's not, you know, I hated the old one. It was impossible for me to open. And one more thing, you can't see it here because I took it out. There was a nib remover, little metal clip, right? That was in the middle there. Now, one more thing is, how does it look like in the stand, when the pen's in the stand? Looks like this. I wasn't super impressed by this, to be quite honest. You have to put the pen in like this. And here's the problem. And I think every tablet brand does this, but let's just go ahead and talk about why I hate it. So I'm gonna just shake the pen a little bit, shake the thing. And it kind of rocks. In fact, if you do this, see, it kind of rocks. And you can, you know, I think even though like I'm kicking it here, it doesn't come over, it doesn't feel super secure in there. I kind of wish this was made a little more secure, honestly. I feel like I could take it out too easy. It's not as bad as I did in the earlier test in the previous stream, but I guess it's okay. But I like the extra weight of the old stand that came with the Intuos Pro 2017. Let's see, we have a few comments here. Philip, maybe for people who get annoyed with bezels like that, move your layers panel to the opposite side. Yeah, that's a good suggestion. I'll actually include that in my my video review, Philip. That's a really bad pen nib holder, but again, the Cintiq version is, yeah. This is better than that version, easily. So I'm happy they made this change. Buttons and dials, let's talk, huge. This is probably the biggest topic that got people upset with this tablet. Okay, so you know what it is. You see that we have, oops, wait a second. I dropped something. Oh, it was my marker. We have 4 express keys, and there's a middle button, and then 4 express keys, a middle button, and there's 2 dials, okay? Now, this is the zoom in of it. You can see the texture now in this upper part, right? That's not dirt, that's just the texture. And another photo. So A lot of people are worried about these dials and these buttons. I'll say this, now this is a medium-sized tablet. I don't know how to work with a small or large, but I didn't feel like this interfered with me, okay? They were fine up here. Of course, I've only had this tablet for about 9 hours, so I can't say that, you know, it's conclusive, but I didn't feel like it interfered with me, okay? I will say this, it takes muscle memory to use them. Like in my previous stream, many times I was reaching for this slider, a dial, and I tried to slide this instead, and I'm clicking one of these buttons. And the buttons do things like, okay, I'm gonna click the bottom one, it brings this up. And it's the settings, and you can click here like, so let me close it again. I click it up, I'm like, oh, maybe I wanna change how these buttons work. I could change this, right? And go here. So that's cool, I guess. And then you can see what things are assigned to. Like the radial menu is on here, right? The left button. And the display toggle, I've only got one display, so I'm not gonna hit it. And if I wanna change the settings, right click, sorry, not right click, click the right one here. Gets to the Wacom center, right? And then the middle button switches the mode of the dial, which is wild. Now I've disabled all the things. Normally this is set to like scroll or zoom or something like that. And then you have the same pair on the right side, okay? And it's set for like up, down and stuff. I'm not sure, I didn't really find a use for this in Krita, I'm sure I will. But what I think I would do personally, because I'm right-handed, I would set this one to changing the brush size, and then this one for changing the left one for changing the, probably not brush size, the zoom, right? I think that's the way I would see it working. So I think it'll require a little bit of customization. The other thing is, there's a little, in the middle of this, there's a little button that does something, which switches. I don't think you can reconfigure it, okay? I'm pressing the middle button on the express keys in the middle of the circle. Oops, click the wrong one. So you have to train your hand and mind on this, because like, it doesn't correspond to what we're used to with the older tablets or any tablet we've had. I do like the dials, by the way. You can't see it maybe or hear it. They click a little bit, very light, faint click, more a feeling than a sound really. And it turns easy, but not too easy. So you can like touch it without like, oh, I'm gonna accidentally move it. So that's nice. So they did a good balance in how much force it takes to rotate these, okay? Very happy with it. And let's see, what else we have here? Andy says, I wish Wacom would just remove the top buttons but maintain the dials. I always disable the buttons, but the dials are very useful for me to zoom. I'm with you. I think I would use the dials more than the buttons, honestly. And to be honest, Andy, when Wacom announced we were getting a new tablet, or they didn't announce it, we saw it on some FCC website. I actually thought they would drop the buttons and dials altogether. I thought we were gonna get just a black slab that was a couple of millimeters thick. That's what I was hoping for. I'm not complaining about this. I think it works fine. I know some people feel very negative about it, but I think they'll have to give it some time. I think you'll end up probably liking it. Now, having said that, I'd like to see how it works on the medium and the large. Sorry, the small and the large. Okay, where is okay, to here. Surface texture, I talked about it. It's a good texture. It's not as much as the 2017 version, and it will wear down the nib less. And like I said, it's softer or warmer. I think everyone who uses it will like it. I'm very confident of that. You'll like it, it's quieter, that it's softer. Oh, I'm marking things up in PowerPoint, did not mean to do that. Connections and cabling. It supports wired and wireless, of course. And one thing you can do is you can pair it with two different computers. And there's a switch. Oh, hang on. Something came off one of my pens. Oh, here it is. Look at this. This little top came off my Pro Pen 2. Okay. There's a switch at the top of here, which controls which Bluetooth, which you can barely see it maybe. There's a switch right there which controls which device it's going to use when you're doing wireless connection. It comes with a USB-C cable, which I'm using right now. You don't have to use it. I've tested it with this random Anchor cable, and I actually use the old Intuos Pro 2017 cable. That worked too. You just need a cable that handles data and that fits in the port. Diagonal wobble, we'll go ahead and show you the test. Hang on a second. I want to discard this. Let's go ahead and do the test here. I'll change back to this brush. Sorry, I have to find the brush. Ink 3 fine liner. Okay. And we'll just try it again. I had a little bit of problems with this test earlier because I used the wrong ruler. So let me get the Pro Pen 3 and let's just try it out. Let's see, where's my, okay. Okay, so I draw a slow, 3 slow, 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000. Slow line. Another, oops, I did not do the right thing there. I scrolled when I meant to actually just draw a line, my mistake. This is one of the mistakes I made over and over a few hours ago. There's a very slight amount of diagonal wobble. I think it's comparable to the old model. It might be slightly more, but it's imperceptible really in normal usage. So, don't worry about where the hell did that thing go? I lost my pen here. Oh, there we go. Oh, display toggle. I keep doing this mistake here. It's driving me crazy. It's a very tiny amount of diagonal wobble. I think it's still very, very good. I'm very curious with driver differences between Windows and Mac result in different wobble. I'm curious about that. I'll test it out, Philip. I've never seen that, but I'll test it out. And you'll like the music, thank you. I like to have a little bit something, otherwise it's a little bit boring just to hear my voice. Let me draw a fast stroke now. That's more like what we would actually draw. And you don't see any wobble at all. So it's a little bit here on the left, but I think it's in line with what we saw with the Intuos Pro 2017, so I wouldn't worry about that. It's normal, it's very good. Next, the driver, I showed you the driver. So both Wacom Tablet Properties app works and Wacom Center, but as we saw, the Wacom Center is missing some features, right? Sometimes the Wacom Center will just the Wacom Tablet Properties app will tell you something is not there, go to Wacom Center, but some features just aren't in Wacom Center. So it's a little bit of I'm not sure why they haven't transitioned, honestly. Seems like they would want to do that very soon. So now we get, we can take as many questions as there are, but let me get to sort of the end point of what I think about this tablet. So do I recommend this tablet? And I think the answer is yeah. This is an excellent tablet. I have no problems with it. I think it's a great tablet. I think it lives up to what Wacom promises. You're getting great drawing quality. It's well designed. I think this is a better tablet than the 2017 version, okay? So no hesitations. I would call this now the best tablet on the market, okay? Best pen tablet on the market. Now, should you get this? Well, this is a tough one. I think if you don't have a Pro tablet from Wacom and you want to get a Pro tablet from Wacom, then you should get this tablet. Unless you have some big concern about these buttons on top, you should get this tablet. And the reason you should get this tablet is it feels better to draw with, and you get to use these cheaper consumer pens if you need to. Those two factors alone are worth it, okay? Now, if you already have a 2019 edition, or 2017 edition, sorry, I don't think this is a must-have upgrade. I think this is if you're having a real problem with your tablet, 2019 version, 2017 version, then consider an upgrade. Like it's not working, or if you're just, you have a lot of money that's just burning in your pocket, get it. But I don't think you should just get this because it's new, okay? I wish I could say differently. I wish that if there's a 2017 version and you saw this tablet, you should just rush up and upgrade it. I don't think that makes sense. It's a good tablet, but I don't think you should just get it because it won't transform the way you draw, right? It won't. It feels good, but it won't change things for you. Okay, so that was my overall set of comments on this tablet. And I'm just gonna look at the chat to see if anyone has questions. So Andy has a comment here. I think Wacom positioned the buttons and dials on top so your hands will be close proximity with the keyboard. Yeah, I think it's logical. I think my only concern, and other people have raised this as well, Andy, is the following. Let me zoom out. Like if you are not going to disable the buttons and you have the tablet like this, then what's going to happen? You're going to move your hand here and then it's going to trigger something, right? So that's the only concern. I think in my uses, okay, I'm going to do it for you here, right? I'm just going to pretend to type for a second. This part of my hand does not touch those dials. I can type over those buttons, right? Maybe I have to be a little bit careful, but it doesn't get in the way, okay? So I think it's okay. No, and Philip says no trackpad functionality for the same price as previous. That's probably the only negative. Now, why Wacom dropped the touch feature, I don't know. I never used it, but I know some people loved it and depended on it all the time. Those people are not gonna be happy with this tablet because they need that touch, right? But yeah, I like this tablet. I think this is a good tablet. I think this is, as soon as I get the large, this is gonna be my primary art tablet, right? And I have no problem, again, saying it's a great tablet and recommending it to people who are getting a new tablet. It is better than the old version, but if you already have the old version and are happy, I don't think it makes sense to upgrade, right? You're gonna have to find something that you really want to improve. And it's gonna have to be either use consumer pens or you just really want these buttons on top, okay? That's gonna have to be what drives the decision. Okay, I'm looking to see if any other questions. Let's keep going for a few minutes, and if there's no other questions, we'll end the stream, okay? Yeah, but I'm happy. I was really excited about this. I might as well tell you now, since I'm waiting for a few questions, I'm going to show you something, which I don't think people. We're always spying on Wacom. Well, maybe spying is not the right word. We're always observing channels of data about Wacom. And there was an interesting channel of data that came out last 48 hours. Let's go and find, did I already have it here somewhere? No, I did not already have it here. Reddit. I had to spell this stuff correctly. R Wacom. No, don't continue. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, here it is. AX23W4. Oh, you missed the stream and you're an hour 20 behind. Catch go 2X, but the stream will probably end when I catch up. Still excited to catch the live stream. Feel free to ask questions. It's late for me, but I'm happy to stay up. And I'm going to be talking for a little while about this new development. Okay, so let me switch to this message here. Okay, so this was posted today or yesterday. And it says, Wacom new, it's supposed to say FCC, not FFC product, new portable tablet. On the website, I thought there was a link here, but there are many new IDs for new products, but one that stands out was this one, HV4DTHA116, which is a portable product. I'm not good at reading them unless it says what it is. The others are display tablets. I wonder what displays they are. I really don't know. I hope for a better portable drawing tablet. Okay, so the first thing is on this FCC site. This model number is like a weird version of the model number for Wacom uses. So you sort of cut off the first few letters, HV4D, or HV4 I mean, okay? This is, and I think Tablet Kitten is telling me that she covered it on the Discord server. I didn't see that. Is it in the stream? I don't see it there, okay. I think you talked about it earlier then. So this leaves us with DTH116. So I commented here, the H means it supports touch, okay? And we think it is the successor to this product, the Cintiq Companion Hybrid, which ran Android 4.2, so it's old, okay? Gabrielle, I will answer that in just a minute. It's a good question. A means Android, we think, and then 16 means 16-inch size. So I expect this year we're going to see a portable Android tablet from Wacom, which I assume was going to use the new Pro Pen 3. I hope it's an OLED, but I think that would be an amazing device. Now, I don't expect it to be cheap. I expect it to be somewhat more expensive than iPad for sure, but this could be a great thing. So I've never used a Cintiq Companion Hybrid, but what I'd like is, I think the key thing is that I can use it standalone and I can use it as a normal pen display. That has to be true. The other thing that I don't know really how it works is, Android has one set of apps and Windows has another. And that can be a little difficult if you don't use the same apps, right? You'd like it to just be easy to transfer between the two. But it's not a Windows device, right? Let's see, I wonder if it works with any data cable, Type-C cable. I actually tested this on the stream and it worked with every cable that I tried that has data. These tablets, these pen tablets without a display, don't require much data. So like a USB 2.0 cable that's a USB-C connector will work as long as it supports data. Okay, Gabrielle, let's get to this question. Or is it Gabriel? I never know how these words are pronounced. I'm gonna say Gabrielle. I guess as a consumer, what were your expectations of this new one and what disappointed you? Okay. This is a hard one to answer, actually. Because let's start with expectations. Wacom is the market leader. Wacom has dominated the market for like 40 years, okay? That's how long Wacom's been around. Think about that. And I've used them since 1995. That's a long time, folks. So that's 30 years I've used a Wacom tablet. And that's older than some of you. So I have a lot of I just have a lot of history with the company, okay? They in general are conservative. I mean, I'm speaking personally. I don't talk to them. They probably don't even like me. I find that they're very conservative in what they ship, right? They don't ship very often. They don't have new products very often. They're very conservative, and they do try to innovate. I'm not gonna say they don't innovate, but they sometimes innovate in ways that I don't expect, or I don't care about. I'm not a professional illustrator or designer, so I don't care about fancy color modes, right? Like DCI, P3 or whatever. What I always expect is they're gonna have solid quality. This has met my expectations there, so that's good. I did think they were gonna innovate more with this tablet. I thought we would get some extra feature, which would be mind-blowing. Not mind-blowing, but at least wow, it's a must upgrade. I think I was disappointed there. I don't think I got a must upgrade feature, right? That would have been what I would have loved. That's why I was disappointed, right? Having said that, they have added one great feature. It works with these consumer Wacom, these UD-EMR pens, like the CP913 and CP923. That's amazing. That's gonna help out so many people who lose their pen and then they realize the Pro Pen 2 is $80 and Pro Pen 3 is $130. They can buy a cheap $30 pen from Wacom. And yeah, the initial activation force won't be as good, but at least they can draw, right? So that's a good thing. You can use a Samsung S Pen with it, and several other UD-EMR pens. So yeah, I think that's what disappointed me. It's not a must upgrade. So it's not a specific missing feature. Touch, I was never a big touch user, but it was not a disappointment to me. If I was a touch user, then yeah, I think I would have been disappointed, right? But it looks great. Like I said earlier, I'm gonna end up using this. This is gonna be one of my primary tablets right now. And despite the fact, sorry, what was I gonna say? Not despite the fact. It's gonna become my primary tablet, the large one, not this one. I can't wait for it. I will recommend it to anyone who's getting a new tablet. I think it's worth it. It's worth it. It's not worth it for an upgrade. Okay, Andy, out of all the Intuos series, which is your favorite? Oh, this is again a tough question. I think it would be Intuos Pro Large, Intuos Pro 2017 Large, PTH-670. It just feels great. It just feels great. And I'm expecting this new one will feel even better, okay? It just is a solid performer. The pen is great, it looks great, it feels great. And this new version that's gonna come out is just gonna take it to the next level. So the new version is gonna become my favorite. But right now, yeah, Intuos Pro Large PTH-670 is my current actual favorite. I think before that, it may have been the Intuos 4 XL, which is a huge tablet, but it's very specialized, right? Like a normal person shouldn't have a tablet like that. So I hope I answered your question, Andy. Okay, I don't see any other questions coming in. I'll give it a few more minutes and we'll see. In the meanwhile, let me just take a look at my notes, see if there's anything else I wanted to cover with this tablet. Atlas wanted me to cover slow motion versus a slow motion capture of latency in wired versus non-wired. I can't do that right now, but I'll do it as part of my review. Leif wanted me to test those express keys and see if it's comfortable. I think they're comfortable, but I've only had this tablet for 9 hours, so I can't quite say that I am confident 100% that it's comfortable. It's gonna take a month of me using this tablet. Meow says, check line quality. I actually did in my earlier stream, and then in the last 6 hours, line quality was great. I had no problems. And then Dermond asked how thin it was. Super thin. Oh, texture sheet. There are texture sheets for this. So you can buy them now, apparently. So I'm planning on getting one. I'll try replacing it. And I think it's about $30 or $40 for a texture sheet. So not cheap, but if you scratch this up, it's nice to have a replacement. Let's see. Oh, Andy is giving me some good questions. If Wacom can custom make an Intuos tablet just for you, how would you like it to be? Okay, that's a good question. I would like it to be more personalized. Like, I don't know if you joined early in the stream, Andy, but tablets like this are just always black. They're black or dark gray. I'd like to be able to customize this and have like a bright color, right? Someone on the stream showed us a tablet. Let me scroll up there and you can see it. Was this it? Not this. Sorry, I may be scrolling in the wrong direction here. I thought we had it here. Yeah, I'm gonna keep on scrolling up until I see it. You gotta see this, it's so beautiful. Okay, I guess I don't see it. Maybe it's on Livestream React. Nope. Okay, it was a tablet Wacom made, which had a red, like the top part was red, okay? It was beautiful looking. I'd like to see that. Koyo's asking, no jerry rig style test. Dude, this is plastic. What do you want me to do? It's gonna break. It's gonna scratch up. I did do a little bit of a flex test. I wouldn't recommend, I think you could easily bend this. It's not gonna fight bending, but it doesn't flex too easy. It was in general, tablet kitten. Thank you for reminding me. Yeah, here it is. Andy, this is what I want. I want color. I want personalized, okay? That's one big thing. Number two, Wacom needs to start shipping 2 Pro pens, not just one. And I was hoping they would do that this time. Number 3 requires Wacom to work with Microsoft to fix Windows Ink driver issues that plague Windows users, okay? Number 4, and this is just me, now I'm just brainstorming here. I'd love to see Wacom produce, I love my TourBox, I've always mentioned that. I don't use Express keys on my tablets. I want to have a separate TourBox device that Wacom makes, which is customized for artists, which is really programmable. I would love that. And if they can make that, that would be great. I'd like them to bring back the art pen and barrel rotation, right? I don't use it, but I think it has to be there to be a high quality tablet, to be like a professional tablet. Other than that, honestly, you're looking at, we're just evolving into this perfect tablet and we're there. This is really essentially a perfect tablet. There's little room for tablets themselves to get better, pen tablets. Pen displays, lots of room. They can go to OLED, they can be thinner, they can be lighter, they can use less heat, blah, blah, blah. But we're really reaching the final frontier here. And I've mentioned this many times. My prediction is within the next generation or the 2 generations of tablets now from Huion, XP Pen, Sense Labs, all tablets in, 2028, 2029 are gonna be amazing. All of them will never have any problems with having bad strokes, right? All the quality will be there for every tablet with every pen. Cringeru asks, do you feel like it's heating and power? Do you feel that it is heating and power failure upon your testing? I'm not sure what you mean by power failure. I will say this, it's room temperature. It feels as cool to the touch as my desk, okay? So I don't notice any heat with this tablet, not even close to the port here. These tablets don't use much power, so I was not expecting that, Cringeru. But yeah, definitely it's, so I don't know what happened to my video here. No heat whatsoever, and you're saying power failure? I'm not sure what you meant by power failure, but definitely no heat. Definitely no heat. It's cool to the touch everywhere. Let me just double check. I'll check the back as well. Next to the port, yeah, it's cool to the touch everywhere. Nothing, these don't consume so much power. Okay, I think we're good. I think we got a good set of questions, and I'm going to wrap up the stream now. So everyone, thanks for your time. Thanks for your questions and engagement. And I will take the questions and the things we discussed, and I'm going to take the slides I made, and I will try to get a review out this week, hopefully in the next couple of days. There's a lot of things I need to do. And publish them on YouTube video on my channel, I don't know, Wednesday or Thursday maybe, right? But I'm really happy that I got to do this because as far as I know, in the English speaking world, I think I'm one of the first people who have talked about this tablet. There've been lots on Bilibili, just Chinese version of YouTube basically. And I think we've done the most comprehensive look at this tablet so far, at least in English. So I'm pretty proud that we got to do that together. Philip just says, Apple Pencil barrel rotation is so much fun for painting. If Pro Pen 3 had it, I'd replace my, yeah, see, Wacom has got to add features to show their leaders again. And you got to bring barrel rotation back, right? Or something. You can't drop it. Okay, everyone, I think that's it for the stream. Again, thanks everybody. I really appreciated, again, your time and engagement. And I'll be back soon. Maybe next week I'll do another stream. In the meanwhile, I'll try to get my review out for this tablet and also for the Move Ink 13, which I'm months late on, okay? Okay, everyone, have a great evening. And again, thanks for your time. Or morning, thanks for your time, okay? Bye. And I am ending the stream.